It looks as though this hasn't been out for a very, very long time.
It's never come out at all. I've never ever tried to take it out.
And you've never been tempted to look behind to see if there are any golden guineas there lying behind? Because it does seem to me as though it's slightly deeper, an inch or so deeper at the back of this. So I think it was intended probably to be a little pigeonhole, a little hidey hole, a safe deposit box. There we are, right back there. This is why it's called a knee-hole desk,
yes,
as you probably realise. Right back there, but it's nice, this nice fitted drawer here, pens and papers and things like that. Little writing desk of, let's have a look at it, I would say 1750. Bang in the middle of the century. Nice Georgian piece. But what is very unusual about it is this. I can't remember ever coming across one with a brushing slide like this, which is supported on these great big loopers, and there is a lovely what's called a brushing slide, not for brushing or hairbrushes, but in this case for writing. And it's a small detail, but it's fascinating. It's yet another difference in this English country-made furniture. What is fascinating is you see, we're so used to this lovely colour of mahogany that we see here, which fades from this light brown here to this dark brown. And that's what we buy this furniture for. This is what the English collect Georgian furniture for. But of course, this is much more accurate of the colour originally in the 18th century. It would have been, in fact, even a deeper red than this. Remember, it's only 20 or 30 years before this that traditionally oak was stained with oxblood red to make it look like mahogany, which was an expensive imported wood. They're not very practical desks today, because I certainly can't use it very easily to get my knees under it.
No.
But of course, what's made all the difference is that brushing slide, and that adds value because it's now something you can use quite a lot. So you haven't really considered the value?
No, about 15 years ago we had it valued because we had a worm in the back leg and I had it replaced, and it was about 1,100 then.
I think today, for insurance, so it would cost you to buy in a shop certainly £3,500 today.
My grandmother paid £10 for it.
£10?
£10, about 40 years ago.
Well, this is a charming little stick pin. Is this a family thing?
Yes, it belonged to my grandfather.
Did it? In the days leading up to the First World War and after, when people used to wear cravats, people used to very often have large collections of these, and there are certainly lots of them about, but not very often many as pretty as this, because not only is it a very charming design of butterfly, which lots of people like, but it's very prettily set with little rubies, rose-cut diamonds, a little emerald in the centre, and it's absolutely charming. I think you'd get £500 or £600 if you sold this today. It's a very pretty piece.
Thank you.
And I'm also going to use it because I want to just sort of poke out some of the holes in this rather interesting spoon that you brought along. What do you know about the spoon?
My aunt was a housekeeper to a gentleman who moved to this country from Ireland in the early part of the century, and he left it to her.
It is, of course, a serving spoon for straining something that got cooked in water, peas or whatever. It has a very nice maker's mark on the back there, IH with a little dot in between, crowned, and that is the maker's mark of John Hamilton, who is in fact a Dublin silversmith who was working around 1720. So this is actually quite an early piece of silver, George I's period. This little engraving here is the scratch weight, it's called, because it was theoretically scratched on just to give you the weight of the silver, because in the 18th century the silver was sold at so much an ounce for the silver, the actual bullion value, plus so much an ounce for the making, so that if you change your mind and you wanted to scrap it and make something else out of it as the fashions changed, you always got the value of the silver back and you just lost the value of the manufacturing, which wasn't all that much. Oh, nice crest, nice original crest as well, which one could probably trace the family. Well, it's very interesting, and it's quite difficult to put a value on, but I think you would get between £1,500 and £2,000 for it.
I am absolutely amazed. I had no idea of the value.